April 2nd, 2025. Hopping good time. Cara's house already smelled like sugar and citrus, the kind of soft sweetness that made the morning feel calm even with everything she still had to finish. Hosting Easter brunch had been her and Michelle's idea this year. Egg hunt, basket decorating, and Cara wanted the place to feel warm the moment people walked in. She smoothed the blue lace on her dress and glanced around the kitchen, checking details as the caterer slipped by, almost invisible. Truth is, she didn't feel stressed. Having people over gave her balance, like she was moving to a rhythm she'd had in her bones forever. The front door swung wide and spring air spilled into the hallway, wrapping itself in a thin haze of smoke. Michelle had arrived. That brief, familiar trace of cigarettes always wandered in just ahead of her. "Hey, Michelle." Cara opened the door with a smile. "Hey," Michelle said softly, giving her a squeeze. She stepped inside, taking in the warm, sweet smell drifting from the kitchen. Her yellow plaid dress brushed the floor as she moved, her Dutch braids a little loose from the wind. "How are you?" Cara asked. "I'm okay." Michelle rubbed her face, then perked up a little. "And something smells really good." Cara laughed. "Gionni's been at it all morning. Caterers have been here since this morning, and he's already prepping dessert. I'm grateful, because we definitely needed the help." "You know I'll always help you with a party," Michelle said, setting her purse on the counter. "I'm glad you're here." Cara nodded toward the kitchen. "Want some coffee?" "Yeah, that sounds perfect." They walked in together. The caterers moved quietly around Gionni while he directed them with his usual loud but loving authority. Cara grabbed 2 mugs and poured the coffee, handing one to Michelle at the dining table. "Thanks," Michelle said, wrapping her hands around the warm cup. Cara took a sip of her own. "Want to take our coffees outside and chat? There's something I should probably tell you." Michelle gave her a slow nod. "Sure, as long as I can smoke while I drink it." The two of them make their way outside and take a seat on the patio set. The sun was shining so brightly that Cara had to raise the umbrella. "So," Cara exhaled, "I invited someone we haven't seen in a couple years. Christina Butler." Michelle froze for a second. "Christina? Wow." She blinked, processing. "I mean, that's really kind of you." Cara nodded. "I thought it might be good for her." Michelle let out a slow breath. Yeah, it will. She gave a small, uneasy smile. "Liz is gonna have a field day when she finds out." Cara laughed softly. "I figured." Michelle tapped her cigarette against the railing. "I'm glad she's coming. I just hope she's doing okay. And I hope Liz doesn't scare her off." Cara nudged her shoulder. "We'll manage them." Michelle nodded, taking a drag. "All right, then I'm with you." After a few sips, Michelle set her cup down and asked what Cara wanted her to start on. "Just help me set up the DIY table in the dining room," Cara said, handing Michelle a napkin. "Got it," Michelle replied, standing. "I'll get the supplies out. Paint, ribbons, glue?" "Exactly. Thanks." Cara gathered baskets, eggs, paint, and other decorations while Michelle cleared the family room and set up tables. Together they added colorful accents, pulled out extra chairs, and stocked the supplies so the decorating area felt organized, inviting, and ready. Cara and Michelle finished arranging the last chairs and stepped back to look at the room. They shared a small, satisfied smile. Cara wiped her hands on her apron and headed into the kitchen to check on Gionni and the caterers, while Michelle stayed behind to straighten a few napkins. In the kitchen, Gionni moved between stations, calling out quick instructions. He glanced up and gave Cara a thumbs up as she came in. Cara stepped into the kitchen and glanced up at the wall clock. "You ready?" she asked Gionni. "Guests start arriving around noon." Gionni looked up from a tray and gave her a quick grin. "We're on track, just finishing a few things." Cara nodded, checking the time again, then headed back toward the dining room with a small, satisfied smile. Cara remembered the bar cart and went to take a look. She scanned the shelves. Prosecco, a couple of reds and whites, gin and bourbon, mixers, juices, sparkling water, a bowl of lemons, and topped the ice bucket. Cara glanced up when the doorbell rang and set her mug down. She and Michelle exchanged a quick look, both smiling. They walked to the front together, Cara a step ahead, Michelle smoothing her dress as they moved. Cara reached the door first and opened it. Liz steps onto the porch in a crisp white blouse and a floral midi skirt. She's carrying a chilled bottle of Prosecco. Michael follows in a navy button-down and tan khakis, holding a homemade quiche wrapped in foil. "Liz! Michael! Come in!" Cara opened the door wider. "Happy Easter!" Liz says, stepping forward. "I brought Prosecco." "Hey, Cara!" Michael handed over the quiche. "Thought this might help." "Perfect, thank you," Cara said, taking the gifts. "Liz, you look great," Michelle added with a smile. "Thanks," Liz said, setting the bottle on the counter. "Smells amazing in here." Can I get anyone a drink? I'll take a mimosa, already smiling toward the bottle she'd brought. Water for me, please, Michael added. Cara popped the Prosecco and poured a generous splash into a glass, topping it with orange juice from the fridge. She handed it to Liz. There you go, mimosa. Michael, I'll grab you a glass of water. Michael accepted his water and set the quiche on the table. To Easter, Liz said, and they all clinked lightly. They chatted idly while they waited for more people to arrive, trading small updates and watching the clock. Carla and Brad came up the path together. Carla in a bright patterned dress, Brad in a light linen shirt and trousers. They carried a tray of deviled eggs and a big green salad. Right behind them were Carol and Tom. Carol in a soft pastel cardigan and skirt, Tom in a navy sweater and slacks holding a lattice-top apple pie and a bottle of red wine. Carla, Brad, Carol, Tom, Happy Easter! Come in, come in! Thank you for the deviled eggs and the pie. Leave your coats on the rack and set those on the counter. Make yourselves at home, Cara smiled brightly. Carla and Brad stepped into the kitchen and set down their tray. Carol and Tom followed, placing the pie and the wine on the counter. Happy Easter, everyone, Carla said, looking around. This looks wonderful. Happy Easter, Liz replied, lifting her mimosa. Thanks for bringing the deviled eggs, Michael added to Brad, nodding toward the tray. Gionni was already at the island, towel over his shoulder. Drinks? He called, reaching for the glasses. The four of them nodded in unison. The room brightened as Tanya and Nicole stepped in and everyone turned. Cara moved forward with a smile. Tanya, Nicole, so glad you're here. Thank you for the rosé and the lemon bars. Carla and Brad waved from the island. Happy Easter! Carol and Tom chimed in with warm hellos. Gionni called over from the stove. Want something to drink? I'll pour you a glass. Tanya and Nicole set their contributions down, exchanged quick hugs, and slipped into the cluster of guests, the conversation picking up where it left off. The door was wide open and Cara was standing in the foyer with her hands folded in front of her. Don Cesar ambled up the path in a soft knit sweater, blue jeans, and suede loafers. He carried a wooden board piled with artisanal cheeses and crackers. He stepped onto the porch with an easy wave and a warm, Happy Easter, then shrugged off his light jacket and joined the cluster in the kitchen. Cara stepped forward with a bright smile as Don reached the porch. Don, you made it, she said, taking the wooden board from him and giving it an appreciative glance. Those cheeses look incredible. Thank you. Hey, Happy Easter, Don says, giving her a friendly hug. Susan and Hillary greet Cara's presence next. Susan is wearing a pastel yellow crisscross dress with white heels. Hillary is wearing a light pink floral paisley dress with white strappy heels, balancing a large bowl of mixed spring salad. When Susan and Hillary appeared behind him, Cara turned and opened her arms. Susan, Hillary, so good to see you. They exchanged quick hugs, but Cara and Michelle set their contributions on the counter and slipped into the conversation as the kitchen buzzed with greetings. Rebecca presses the doorbell and waits on the porch. She is in a blue and white maxi floral dress and matching blue heels. Her hair is styled in double Dutch braids, and she wears a strand of pearls for the occasion. When Cara opens the door, she beams. Hey you, Cara says, eyes lingering on the braids and the pearls. Hey, Happy Easter! She presses the bouquet into Cara's hands and adds with a smile, I brought these for you. Cara's face lights up as she accepts them. Oh, Rebecca, you didn't have to. These are lovely, she says, giving Rebecca a tight squeeze before ushering her inside. They move through the foyer together, past the stairs, and into the living room where the others are gathered. Rebecca offers warm hellos as she takes in the lively scene, exchanging waves with friends on the couches while the men chat in the kitchen. She settles onto the couch with a contented smile, glad to be a part of the cheerful gathering. Craig and Maria came up to the path, hand in hand. Craig wore a casual button-down and dark jeans, carrying a large bowl of roasted spring vegetables. Maria wore a soft blush wrap dress and carried a loaf of crusty bread wrapped in a tea towel. Cara met them at the door with a wide smile. Craig, Maria, you two made it, she said, taking the bowl and the bread with an appreciative squeeze. Wouldn't miss it. Hope these roasted veggies do the trick. And the bread's still warm. Happy Easter, Cara. Thank you for having us, Maria smiled politely. She hugged Maria and bumped Craig's shoulder playfully before guiding them toward the island. They slipped into the easy flow of conversation as chairs were pulled up and glasses were refilled. The doorbell rings once, and before Cara can even reach the foyer, Christina is already calling out through the door in that unmistakable slurred drawl. Cara, open up, baby, it's me! Cara swings the door open, startled into a laugh, and Christina sweeps inside in a cloud of perfume. "Happy Easter, doll," she declares, leaning in for a kiss on the cheek, loud and affectionate. "I've been walking up this driveway like some kind of celebrity guest star. You better tell me you miss me." Cara laughed. "Oh, of course. It's been forever. Come in. I want you to see everyone." As they step into the kitchen doorway, the chatter dips. Heads turn. A few people blink, trying to place her. That voice. That presence. And then recognition hits like a ripple. Christina gives a slow, satisfied smile, tilting her head just enough to let the moment land. "Hi, honeys," she purrs. "Don't all gasp at once." She sets the pastry box on the counter, slides onto a stool like she owns the room. The silence stretches one beat longer, until Don finally finds his voice. He strains up from the island, eyes wide. "Christina, you're here. Wow, I can't believe it." Liz whispers, "No way." Tanya mutters, "I haven't seen her in years." Christina beams, delighted. "See? I told you, Cara. They missed me." The second Christina steps fully into the kitchen and the shock settles over the room, the girls instinctively lean toward Cara, voices low and urgent. Liz is the first to hiss. "Cara, what the hell? You didn't tell us she was coming." Tanya leans in from the other side. "Yes, seriously, when did this happen?" Cara keeps her smile fixed and murmurs back, barely moving her lips. "I had no choice," she says quietly. "Liz brought her up at the St. Patrick's Day party. It was the perfect opening. And in my defense," she lifts her brows meaningfully toward Liz, "she set it up, not me." Liz's eyes widened. "I did not..." Cara cuts her a tiny, pointed look. "You did. You opened the door. I just walked through it." Christina is still basking in the little shockwave she caused when she turned her attention to the newcomers, people she doesn't know. She starts with Nicole, offering her hand with a slow, dramatic smile. "Sweetheart, look at you. Tanya always had good taste, but this is next level." Nicole laughs nervously. Then Christina moves down the line. Michael, Tom, Brad, Maria, Susan, Hillary, greeting each spouse. Each introduction is a tiny performance, and everyone's still half stunned. Rebecca steps forward and the air shifts again, not as sharply as when Christina arrived, but enough for the girls at the island to glance at each other. "Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm Marnie's sister." Christina doesn't even let her finish. She tilts her head, eyebrows lifting. "Marnie's sister? Oh my God, honey. I had no idea she even had a sister." Rebecca freezes for half a second, smile tightening. Christina just keeps smiling, utterly unbothered, as if she said something perfectly normal. "Actually," she says, voice steady, "I'm nothing like her." Christina's brows tick up, amused, but Rebecca keeps going before she can jump in again. "So if you heard she was in rehab, then you should also know she worked hard to get better. And the people who love her, we don't call that babysitting. We call it showing up." Christina leans in. "Well, I mean, come on. You put her through rehab and all. You must be exhausted dealing with her every day. Sounds like a damn chore if you ask me." Rebecca's expression tightens, but her voice stays sharp and steady. "It's not a chore. It's called being a good sister. Something you wouldn't know much about, would you?" Christina blinks, thrown for half a second, then tries to recover. "Rebecca, honey, I was just making a wild assumption, all right? I put up with Marnie for 6 months, so I can only imagine how tough it is having her under your roof." Rebecca's smirk fades into something colder. "And what makes you think it's so hard living with her, huh? You think just 'cause she's my sister, I'm obliged to take care of her every second?" Christina lifts her chin. "Yeah, I do think you're obligated. I ain't sugarcoating nothing. She's fresh out of rehab, locked up in a hospital room for 6 months. You don't think she needs a little guidance?" Rebecca exhales, frustrated but firm. "Marnie isn't a child. She's a grown woman who makes her own decisions. Guidance doesn't mean babying her or treating her like she's 5. Christina scoffs, waving her hand. "Grown women don't treat their employees like garbage. Respecting co-workers is basic, and your sister failed that test. She abused half the staff in that school, including Liz. That ain't something you just forgive or forget." As the tension thickens in the kitchen, Cara quietly signals the guests to start moving toward the family room. The family room is bright and warm, sunlight spilling across the long dining table set for brunch. Gionni and the caterers sweep in with trays, a platter of rosemary roasted potatoes steaming in the air, a tower of mini quiches, bowls of fresh berries glistening like jewels, pitchers of mimosas and peach mocktails catching the light, a board of prosciutto, mozzarella, and basil arranged like artwork. White linens, pastel plates, little vases of daisies. Guests settle into their seats, murmuring, glancing back toward the kitchen where Christina and Rebecca's voices still rise and fall like a storm behind a closed door. Rebecca crosses her arms, jaw tight. For someone who just met me, you sure think you know a lot about my relationship with my sister. You don't know a thing about us, so stop making assumptions. Christina just shrugs, sipping. I'm just saying. Rebecca leans back, voice firm. Marnie can be a lot, yeah, but she's been through hell. She made mistakes, but she's trying to change. And as her sister, it's my job to support her. Christina's eyes gleam. Oh, so you do agree with me. She's a lot to handle, and without you, she's nobody. She can't do it alone. Cara told me things, Liz too. Sounds like a little rocky sister-sister situation. She sighs dramatically, twirling her finger around the rim of her glass. Must have been real hard seeing her freak out on you during that intervention, after everything you've been through. Rebecca freezes, her voice low and dangerous. How do you even know about the intervention? You haven't been around any of us in years. Who told you? Christina blinks, then waves a hand. Oh, please. I ain't stupid. I hear things. Liz said a little something, Cara said a little something, and I put 2 and 2 together. But fine, you're right. I should stay out of it. Rebecca exhales sharply, frustration and hurt mixing in her voice. I'm not saying you're stupid, but you are being judgmental and basing your whole opinion on what Cara and Liz told you. They only know a fraction of what's really going on. Christina scoffs. Yeah, well, what I do know is grown women don't treat their co-workers like crap. Rebecca's face hardens again. You don't know the whole story. You don't know the years of pain, the years of trying to help her. So don't act like you understand us. Her voice trembles, but she doesn't back down. And yeah, the intervention was hard, but it was necessary. She needed help, and we did what we had to do. Meanwhile, in the family room, Cara and Michelle finally realize the two women never followed. Guests are settling, napkins unfolding, mimosas poured, but 2 empty seats sit untouched. The voices in the kitchen rise before anyone in the family room even realizes what's happening. Cara is halfway into her seat when she glances around the table, one empty chair, then another. Her stomach drops. Where are... Michelle meets her eyes, already worried. They both stand at the same time. By the time Cara reaches the kitchen doorway, Christina and Rebecca are squared off at the counter, bodies angled forward, voices sharp enough to cut through the clatter of brunch being set out in the next room. Christina's voice hits first. Listen, don't try to play me, all right? You can tell me I don't know nothing about you or your family, but I know what went on between you two. Your relationship was strained for Christ's sake. Cara told me the whole damn thing, and I know how to read people. I ain't making assumptions, I'm stating facts. Rebecca's fists clench at her sides, knuckles white. I never said Cara and Liz weren't reliable, but you're getting everything through a filter. You don't know the whole situation between me and Marnie. Our relationship is complicated. You can't sum it up from one night. Christina fires back instantly, stepping closer. Oh, so you admit she's a lot to handle. Without you, she's no one. She can't do it alone. Cara finally pushes through the doorway and takes in the scene. All right, enough, she says, stepping between them, palms out. Her voice is low but firm, the kind that cuts through chaos. Brunch is ready. Everyone's waiting. This stops now. At the table, Christina's jaw tightens. Her arm moves quickly before anyone can speak. Straight to the nearest vodka bottle. One quick twist, and she's pouring herself a full, defiant glass. Cara and Don trade a look across from the table, but neither of them says a word. Rebecca sits stiffly across from her, arms crossed.